Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to the special evening coming to you from the Poole Spiritualist Church. We're down on the south coast of the UK. What was that? We're down on the south coast of the UK, and we've got a really special week coming up here. As you know, Poole Church, we really love our training, our education, our promotion. And just sharing this wonderful thing called spiritualism with people. I've got three absolutely wonderful. I'll leave myself out of that.
Add yourself back in.
We've got three wonderful people with us. So first of all, Danielle Niehaus, how are you, my darling?
I'm doing well. I'm recovering of problems in my mouth, but I assure you all that problem will be gone next week.
Wonderful. Vienna, how are you, my darling?
Yeah, very exciting about next week. Yeah. 9 days of 7 days emerging into spiritualism, into the spirit, into mediumship, into psychic work, trance. Yeah, very, very excited. Yes.
Good. Mark, my darling, how are you?
I'm good. I'm enjoying the gorgeous weather. Looking forward to a wonderful and fascinating week that we're all going to have together. It's going to be great. Yeah. And hopefully we'll still have the nice weather as well. Be lovely.
Yes, that will be a very added bonus to us all. So we kick off this week on the 29th of June, which is a Sunday evening at 7 o'clock. So to start the proceedings, we're going to have a gala demonstration of evidential mediumship by everybody here tonight. So I'll be looking forward to that. Oh, good. Your enthusiasm is overwhelming.
Absolutely.
Spill it. Yeah.
I think it's a great opportunity to be the voice of the spirit world on the platform, and those who are watching and wondering what possible is are really, really invited to come and join this evening.
Definitely.
It's always nice when you get a group of mediums, and we saw this at the rally weekend as well that we had just a few weeks ago. How unique every medium is in their mediumship, and being even as demonstrators ourselves, it's fascinating to watch others work, how they work, how the message and the communication builds and changes, and the different way in which the spirit world used this unique ability of each medium. It's fascinating. So it's as fascinating for us on a platform working together as it is for the congregation who are coming and the loved ones who are making that connection.
Yeah, very true. I always recommend to all my students as a go and see services, go and see other mediums of work, not to criticize, but just to see how they work. You'll see things you like, things maybe you need to put to one side for now. But it's an awesome experience, and I know with the energy between all of us here, this is really going to be a really good week here at Poole. So on the Monday the 30th, we have Vienna. You will be doing private sittings with a slight difference. Tell us about those, please.
Yes, that's really a nice way of doing a private sitting on a psychic work basis. I learned that I'm not comfortable with a normal private sitting, how it is taught in my development and unfoldment. So I sat with the spirit world and I said to them, oh my gosh, I want to pursue my passion and I want to work for you, but how do you want me to do this? Because I'm not feeling comfortable. So they gave me this inspiring idea to make with the people an oracle card. So I will bring the people who come to me, the sitters, with a nice meditation in connection with their soul. And from that moment, when you connect with the soul, your soul begins to speak to you. And then it's also time, and you have the surroundings to very much listen and to be aware of your soul. And with symbols and colors and the vibration with the lines where you draw, your soul speaks. So I will give the sitter insight and interpretation of the drawing back to them, because we are normally in our lives driven by what we want, but not always we have insight in what we need. And not everyone can connect with their soul automatically by themselves, because life take a turn, or you don't know how, or you don't have the peace or the surroundings to do that. So that is a very beautiful way to connect with your soul through the drawings. And you don't have to be an artist, because a lot of people ask me, yeah, but do I need to draw good? Have I to be an artist? No, you don't. You really don't. You only have to project what you see on the paper with everything you have. And we talk about that then. And I will help the sitter to have an explanation, to have an interpretation about how to move forward with what you want and what you need. So that's really a beautiful passion of mine, to do this on this way. So that's what I do on a Monday.
That's what you do on the Monday. Fascinating. I think I may be having one of those myself. Definitely, because I think it's great. And I know you two like drawing.
Yeah.
Based on previous experiences.
And I'm not an artist as well, so yeah.
Danielle, what are you bringing to the table for the private sitting?
I think everything. I like to do private readings, and it's up to you. It's what you need, and of course, I will attune to the spirit world and give your loved one a voice back. Now we all miss someone, and we all want to know if those are still around us and sharing those memories. And I really, really love it to be part of building a bridge between the two worlds and being part of that healing vibration behind it, because I do believe that every facet of mediumship, in a demonstration or in a private sitting or in a course, it's always about healing. And if I can be of help to lift your heart, I am thrilled to allow people to come, and I can do a few in one day. So everyone is welcome. And of course, I will read your auric field, and I will attune also on a psychic level, but it's up to you what you want. Do you prefer to have an evidential mental reading? I said, yes, let's do that and see what will come. And I don't need any information. It's all what the spirit world wants to bring forward. And from my experience with working in private readings, it's not only one person that will come, but sometimes it's a whole family that is coming forward. So I think it's a blessing to have this opportunity to be in Poole on Monday and to be at service for you. And I can assure you that Take a Sitting with Diana is very, very interesting, because I saw it happening, and it is such an amazing thing how the spirit world inspired her to do this kind of reading. So I think it's a wonderful day on Monday. It's you time with spirit.
Definitely. It is very noticeable now that people are looking more for readings. Yes, evidential ones. Yes, we need to have that modicum of evidence there, but also about themselves, because, you know, where the world seems to be going crazy at the moment, we're slowly at last beginning to realise we're the ones that we can depend upon. We depend upon ourselves, and it's enhancing that within.
And of course, if we're looking into the world and what is going on and all the insecurity, it's understandable that those who are watching and those who will come next week and have this private reading maybe don't know, where do I stand? And yeah, Diane and I are really willing to be of helping hands to find the truth within yourself.
Beautifully put. Thank you. So then on the Tuesday, the 1st of July, between 10 and 4 o'clock, I will be taking a workshop. Yay!
And what are you going to do then, Lawrence?
No, I don't know. I haven't made my mind up yet.
I try to be serious.
I know, and it's me. I'm so sorry. I do apologise. I have discovered a newfound love of the work of the psychic. Now, psychic, going back a few years within the movement of spiritualism, was always a bit of a dirty word. It was always, oh yes, but that's not mediumship. But again, the world's changed. We've changed. And people are looking to enhance what is within. Psychic abilities is probably one of the first major stepping stones on your path to developing your own form of mediumship, however that may expand. Or if you are already working as a medium, it's an additional tool to use. And it's an incredibly useful tool. Similar to Daniela there, I've been asked to do a few private sittings of late. And a lot of it has been psychic work, and I've explained that. I don't try and pass it off as anything else, but it is, but it makes sense. People understand it. There's the evidence. I'm Mr. Where is the evidence? And the evidence is there because, you know, you're just bringing out and talking about things that people just keep in their head going round and round and round. And sometimes when you have that opportunity that somebody talks about that, you know, it just gives you that chance to express and to explore. It's like opening the door to a thought. And that's a wonderful thing. There's so many fields within psychic work. Some of you may have been watching recently. We've been doing a few revival services here, bringing back some of the old practices we used to do within the movement of spiritualism. I love doing them. I really have. Honestly, I just absolutely adored doing it. And fortunately, everybody else enjoyed it, so that's always a bonus.
Good. So, Lawrence, do you think, because I agree with it, and I think Mark is also agreeing, and Diana, when we look at the interest of people on mediumship and the main focus on evidence and the understanding the faculty of mental mediumship, that in the basics, they need to understand self, and that psychic development is a vital part of going inwards and find the spirit within to make the next stepping stone to mental mediumship, if there is the light on it from the soul.
Definitely. You know, I would say to people, if you're going to be a medium, be a brilliant medium. If you're going to be a psychic, be a brilliant psychic. Be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And the way to be honest about these things is to have experience of working in the psychic and with your mediumship if you're at that stage. And you can just feel that subtle difference, that shift in the energy. But as I say, in today's world, a psychic reading actually can really unlock a lot of potential, a lot of opportunities with people.
Yeah.
So that will be the basis of my day. I'm looking forward to that. So thank you.
Can I join?
Yes, by all means. Yes.
Good.
There'll be drawing.
Yes.
It's so important, drawing.
There will be drawing.
I'm looking forward to it.
And then on, again, Tuesday the 1st in the evening at 7 o'clock, we will be having a wonderful evening of trance communication by the wonderful Mark Stone. So Mark, do you tell us a wee bit about that, please?
So trance is one of my big passions, and we've had a number of trance evenings at Poole for a long time, and they're always fascinating. There is, again, a bit like the demonstrations, there is fascinating for me experiencing what the spirit world does when we work. The trance work that we do is about letting the spirit world speak, bringing true philosophy, understanding, sometimes answering questions from the people that are there, often answering the questions of the people there before they get to physically ask them, which shows the lovely intelligence of the spirit world. And then we, as we're working with that, it's an experience that, a lot of times we do see a lot of trance mediumship online. We do see a lot of demonstrations and things. And there's a real different quality when you're in a room when a trance demonstration is taking place, because you're sat within that power. Yes, there is no limit to where the power can reach and extend. So even if you're working online with altered states, people can discern that feeling and sensation when someone is working. But when you're there in a room having the experience in that moment that you're held within that power as a group of people, it has a transformative effect. And again, that intermingling between the wisdom of the other world and the people that are in that room makes it a unique moment. Because every time I've sat and I've worked at the church at Poole particularly, things have been said and I've gone, that's really odd. Where's that come from? And then someone's come up afterwards and said, when you talked about that, my friend and I were sat in the car before we came in tonight discussing that very subject. And the other world had been earwigging on that conversation and building within that energy and listening to what's been going on. So, this is another way of letting the other world have the expression that it wants to have, but also allowing people to realize that this other world is still a living world, is still a world of people. It's not necessarily, sometimes I think people think that, you go over to the other world and you'll suddenly become this enlightened being with wings and a halo, and everything is, you become this divine, almost emotiveless being of power. Whereas a lot of the times when we're working, we realize that the other world still have nature, still have personality, still can interact with us. It's not a being spoken at, it's in conversation with. And I think that's a really important part, that people realize that, at a trance demonstration, a bit like if you're in a conversation with someone and someone talks to you and then goes, are you with us? And then the other person goes, what? There's that sense of, oh, you're not with me. Whereas often the spirit world will incorporate and include the people in that room to try and make them realize that it is part of what's going on for them. It's not just a passive experience, but an interactive one as well. I'm really looking forward to it. And it's a nice way for people to get to have a little look at the trance state, sit within the trance state before making their mind up whether they want to join us later in the week as well.
Yeah, definitely. I always find it very fascinating when we have a trance demonstration, be it a one-off or during the service occasionally, the number of people who just sit there and close their eyes.
Get drawn in.
Because they just get, you can always say with spiritualism, it always should be an experience. And I think sometimes we neglect the experience. But it is an experience, the shift in the energy, the change in the atmosphere. What, like you say, what's being said? what is being said, what is being discussed is just so fascinating and engrossing. So yeah, we're looking forward to that, Mark.
Lovely.
Then on Wednesday, we hand over to the lovely Danielle. Would you like to tell us what you're doing with us on Wednesday?
It's a day all about healing, spiritual healing. There are so many ways of healing we know into the world. But if we look at spiritualism and how our healing masters, guides, workers, what kind of name you want to give them, are able to work through us as a healing medium, that's really amazing. And this power and this flow from the healing vibration from the God force is such an amazing thing to experience. And after a wonderful night with a demonstration of trance, the next step of going into that space of that healing vibration and attune yourself to the power of the spirit and experience this deepest love you can experience and practice, make it into practice. Allow this healing power to flow through you to another, have those feedbacks of the experience. It will heal yourself, it will heal your soul, and it will heal another. And you're able, on the end of the day, you know how to attune to the vibration as it is mental mediumship, but I like to say it's an active passive way of attuning to the spirit world. So where you demonstrate you're very much aware and active and working in the power, and with healing mediumship you just relax, but you're part of it. And it's just like standing on the beach watching over the ocean and see the waves of the water going into each other, and then suddenly you have this attunement and you're guided by your healing masters and you are part of the holiest way of working with the spirit world. So it's going to be a holy day.
Wonderful. And what sort of level of experience would people need to join in with that?
Everyone is welcome. There is no, you need to be an experienced healing medium already. My intent is to have it open for everyone who is interested in healing in every level or experience you have. If you have already experienced, you can maybe hear or experience new things you never had before. So see it as a day of a journey to explore, to have that deepest connection to the spirit world, and then spread your wings into the world. So no academics are needed for studies. You're open. Come with an open heart and allow yourself to be free together with the spirit world, and I will guide you to that way, and you go away with a heart full of love.
Wonderful, wonderful. A real passion of mine as well is healing. It's always been the little bit of the underdog in our movement, which is such a shame.
And I don't understand why, because if we look at all the separate faculties and we're looking into the depth, what the real intent of the spirit world is with all these faculties, there is only one big message behind it. We are still there, we love you, and there is healing. So why are we going to put down healing mediumship as something, it's just healing?
Yeah.
I believe that those who are able to attune to the healing vibration of the God force, that are the best mediums. Look at Harry Edwards.
Very true. Very, very true. Wonderful. I'm looking forward to that one. Thank you. And then on Thursday and Friday, we have a 2-day workshop under the guidance of the wonderful Mark. Mark, would you like to explain or share what you're bringing to the table?
Oh, fabulous. Well, it's a joy to get 2 days to do workshops, because often we only have 1 days to do things, and 2 days gives us more time to sit and work. The workshop is for people that have an understanding of the spirit world. So it's for people that will have sat in circles before, will have worked with mediumship before, worked with their psychic stuff before. They don't have to be professional mediums or readers, but there needs to be an understanding of the basics of mediumship generally, because when we're going to sit for the altered states and we're going to sit to work with the spirit world, we don't want to kind of have to go back to the bare bones of, you know, what we do and don't want to be doing when we're sitting for spirit and how we want to be. What we want to be able to do is use those 2 days, and depending on who's on the workshop, we're going to get to know everyone who's there in the first session, so that we can see what people's experiences of trance or understanding of trance is. And then as we go through the 2 days, we're going to look at how we sit. And again, moving on from where Daniela's been with the lovely healing, you know, we're learning to move into a state where it's not about us, and it's about being the instrument, if you like, or the channel, whatever choice of term you prefer, for the spirit world to start working with us. It's not necessarily that, you know, you're going to be on this workshop to make you speak. You know, people, you know, you may sit for the 2 days and have no impetus to speak, but you are bringing a closer blending with those that work with you in the other world, a closer bond, a closer sense of knowing more of who is there with you, or the power that comes to work with you from the other world, the intelligence that's there. So over those 2 days, we're going to look at lots of different mindsets and thoughts about trance work. You know, we're going to allow ourselves to sit. There's going to be plenty of time to sit, sitting in groups, sitting as a whole, sitting as smaller groups, so that people can give feedback and observe as well. Because one of the things that's really I'm key on when teaching trance is also to teach people how to sit to observe others when in the altered state. Because one of the things that if people want to develop trance, one of the best things that they can do is go back home and create a home circle and have people sit for them. And so learning how to sit with a group of people, how to get people to look and observe what's happening with the trance state, so that there is an understanding of what's taking place, of what's needed, whether there is speech or not. So it's going to be a whole sort of collection really of thoughts and ideas, as well as practical things that we're going to look at, so that hopefully at whatever stage you are when you arrive, that we're able to give you focus for where you go from beyond those 2 days, and see what you experience. And again, looking at how the spirit world work with people in different ways, and the different feel and energy that comes with individuals when they work.
Excellent. Thank you, Mark. I've invited people to make comment, and people have. So how wonderful is that? So lovely Roy McKay is saying trance is awesome on so many levels, and giving spirit speech a free hand. Definitely. Are you back in the UK now, Roy? He was away. Lovely Tim Abbott. Good evening, Tim. Long time. And a question there for you, Mark. I'm sure you would agree with me when I say some of the best trance, for example, trance healing, is done in the silence.
Yeah, all of our work and the connection with the spirit. You know, we can feel the presence of the other world so keenly without a word being spoken. It can be so tangible, and when we are, this is the nice thing I think about circle, is that when we're with a group of other people, we're sharing not only our own energy and power in that room, but when the spirit world comes in, and it can be an uplifting and transformative and healing practice. That's why, you know, circles, I sitting regularly in home circles or circles within a church, but I mean, for me, home circles has always been the favorite. Then, you know, you can then sit in that space, in that power, let the other world come and work without even needing to put a name on it. You know, one of the things that often, and Tim will know this from when we used to sit with Glyn, you know, when people say, oh, I'm sitting for healing, I'm sitting for transfer, I'm sitting for this. Actually, what we just want to be doing is sitting for spirit, the spirit within, the spirit that comes to be with us, and not to worry about trying to put a label or put it in a box. To actually say to the other world, you know, here I am, or here we are, if you're sitting as a group, come and blend with us, and then just hand over to this other world to allow it to be what it needs to be for those individuals. Sometimes by putting the label, a name, a term, a focus, or an intention, sometimes can limit the ability, the experience, because we're actually saying, well, it's going to be this, and actually it could be everything.
Yeah.
When we sit. And I think that, you know, we do that a lot in mediumship. We do that a lot in different ways. The lovely Ron Jordan, who Tim will know, many of you hopefully online will have had the pleasure of meeting. I can remember him saying that one day he was sitting meditating, and a guide said to him, you know, what do you really want? You know, what do you want for your mediumship? What is it you really want? And he said, you know, I'd love to be as good as Gordon Higginson. And this voice from the other world answered back, really? Only as good as? Why not better?
Mm.
And you know, and so not that's not from an arrogant point of view, but what it shows is we often minimize or limit the experience. That could be the same when it comes to the psychic, the mediumistic, the healing, the trance. We can sometimes, you know, curtail and almost hold back the potential of the other world working through us by our own preconceived ideas of what can and can't happen.
Definitely.
And the same on the receiving end. If people have in their head an idea of what will or won't be able to happen, then even recipients of mediumship, healing, trance, whatever, can kind of get in the way of their own experience, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say if you live in the future, you build up disappointment. It's a well-known fact. So we have all this wonderful lineup for you. We got the lovely Danielle and the lovely Deanna coming all the way over. I can't wait to meet you at the airport. It's always such fun. I'm like a big kid at the airport. I warn you, everybody, it's a nightmare, as Mark can testify. Yeah, I just can't wait to just get everybody back together again, because there's just this synergy between the way we work, and it's just beautiful. So the costs. Now, this is interesting. We have held the cost of all of these workshops to 2023 prices. So each workshop is £45 a day. So Mark's 2-day obviously is 90. This will include a light luncheon, all your refreshments during the day. We do realise, you know, life's hard at the moment. Money is hard. Indecisiveness is making people, you know, I'm not sure, shall I, shan't I? We get it. Absolutely get it. We're all the same. We don't think we're not affected by all this going on. But in a way of helping out and, you know, just holding those prices back is our way of saying, you know, when this isn't a money-making operation. All right, please understand that. We're not in it for the loot. We're in it because we have a passion. We're in it because we have quite a few years of experience in this room tonight, and that's not a brag or a boast. It just is. It's as simple as that.
He's saying we're all old. That's what he's saying, isn't it?
In a nice way, yes. In a polite way. You know me, I'm always tactful.
Sorry, Lawrence, breaking your flow.
As I say, we've held the prices at 2023 prices because we want to share this with people. You know, I know I speak for the other three present. I just get the biggest kick when you get a student or a sitter and go, I get it. That light bulb moment. You know what? That's the moment we live for. Yeah. You just go, that's great, and just seeing this unfoldment start to kick in. So there is a link here just coming up in the comments to the church website, and all tickets are purchasable through the links on the website. If you wish to save the handling fee, now some people don't like the handling fee. It is a fee that enables you to pay online securely. It's going through a 248-bit encryption service. You can do a refund if required straight away. You get emails confirming payment, emails just before the event, email the day before it's a managed system. But if you wish to save that, please just come to the church and we can book you in there. Absolutely no problems. So just in summing up, we'll go around the table, and Deanna's getting off very lightly here, but I know she's going to have a very full week because I have a list of jobs for her. How's the cooking, love? Deanna, what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to meet everybody, to meet other souls, to meet self, to meet spirit with you all, to come and to see the people find their self, see themselves again, see their souls again, to connect with spirit, to experience, to develop and unfold, to be enriched and loved and to be held, and to see that there's another truth than you see outside in the world today, and to have that view that we as a team can help and work to provide that for the people, so they can walk away at the end of the week and to feel their spirit again, and to feel that connection again, and to live not from fear or despair of what's happening, but to live from hope and courage and strength, that they're held and that they can heal themselves. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Brilliant, brilliant. Danielle, my darling.
I'm looking so much forward to come back to Poole.
Yeah.
And now I think it's a good thing to know that when you don't live in the United Kingdom and you don't have churches around the corner as you all have in England, it's just a big present that we are able to blend together and have that feeling, that bubbling feeling we have as a team with joy. And that's the joy of spirit that brings that. And I'm really, really looking forward that those who are coming this week, hopefully to all the days, all the events, that it leaves a footprint in each soul that we really live under the same sky. And it doesn't matter if you live on Hawaii or in the Netherlands or in Poole or wherever you are, that the spirit world is just a world within our world. And that's the biggest thing I'm looking forward to do this together.
Wonderful. And Mark.
Well, I could just say ditto to what the other two have said, couldn't I? But one of the things we're going to have over this week, any of you that join us at any point in time, what you're going to see is upliftment and joy of spirit. Because sometimes people kind of have this idea that, we're communicating with the dead and it's very solemn and very sort of, heavy going, but it's full of joy. The church services, those of you that watch the church services online or go back and watch previous church services will know they're filled with joy. The talks and the workshops that, again, Lawrence has the back catalogue of on YouTube and Facebook will show you that there is so much joy in what we do. So throughout that week, with all the learning that you're going to be able to touch on and the inspiration that's going to be there and the chance to ask questions of people who are passionate about all of these areas, because all of us love healing, all of us love trance, psychic mediumship, awareness, physical mediumship, all sorts of things, philosophy, don't forget the philosophy. All of these things, it gives you a chance to actually talk to people. You're not just reading a book, you're not just watching some one-way facing videos online. You're actually able to talk to people about your experiences, about your thoughts, and ask questions that's invaluable. That was one of the things that I was very lucky, to sit and just listen to Glyn talk and to get to ask questions and to sit with other mediums and discuss our belief. It's priceless, because it's unique. It's the living history that we're all sharing together. So it's going to be a fabulous week, filled with lots of inspiration, filled with the love of the spirit world, but filled with a lot of joy as well. And come expecting that. Don't think you're going to get away without laughing and smiling through the day when we're together, because you'll see that's how we bring it together, and that's how love is, an expression of joy.
Excellent. Just to reiterate, all these workshops and demonstrations are available separately. There is an all-inclusive ticket if you wish to join us, which would be wonderful, which has a reduction in price if you're going to join in on everything you've got coming off. I'm just putting into the comments here a couple of local accommodation places, because we are a seaside town, and if you go through booking.com, etc., it can be very weighty on the prices at this time of year. But there's two places up there: Cranbourne House, Poole Park House. Modest establishments, but a very fair and reasonable price. So if you are out of the area and you wish to join us, you've even got the links there for your accommodation. But in the meantime, I just can't wait. As I say, I'm like a kid at Christmas with these things. I love it. I love the exuberance. I love the connection. As Mark said, just being with other mediums, and it's not just when we're working, it's our downtime as well. The conversations can be absolutely awesome. So, yeah. Anyway, this concludes this evening. Thank you for watching this, whether you're online tonight or whether you're watching us from further afield or later on, in fact. Have a think about it. Really good opportunity, very honest people, no faff. We're not going to make you anything. We're going to allow you to be what you are. So, yeah, enjoy. So from me, a very good night.
From me as well.
And from me as well. Hopefully see you all next week.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, everybody.